welcome back to Block TV, where it is time for the agenda, or what you believe is the agenda. Twitter, Reddit, and other social media giants may have you locked into your echo chamber of opinion, but we at Block TV offer an alternative to what everyone is talking about, namely what you may have missed while trying to survive the highway of information in the past week. And to do that, I am joined by none other than my children. In studio, the Sunday morning agenda team. Of course, starting with Zachy Hennessy.
Hello!
Oh my God. Whitney Deal, Yona Hochhauser, and none other than Iran Spitzer. Hello to you guys. We're going to have 2 rounds every Sunday. We're going to have 2 rounds of tries. This is a competition with no consequences whatsoever. And so, starting with you, Whitney Deal, our regulation. Starting with our regulation and policies reporter, Whitney, what should we have been talking about? What were we talking about? The clock of 60 seconds starts now.
Everybody's been talking about Walmart tokenizing, and I mean, which is great because then if you want to go buy, a rifle or anything, like
exactly,
you can just use
that's
your
2
Walmart
tokens.
Coin. Anyway. So while everyone was talking about that, I think that they should really be talking about Ledger X and their announcement of that they're launching Bitcoin futures. They made that announcement on Wednesday, and then they rescinded that on Thursday,
Why?
the very next day, because the CFTC did not give them approval for those futures just yet. It's pending, but they didn't give them outright permission.
Outright permission. Okay, that was in, I believe, beautiful, within, I think, the realms of 30 seconds. I'm not sure. But let's discuss this, people. First of all, is she right?
I mean, the Walmart thing is pretty interesting. It's a question
It's
of
like
whether or
a
not
question
we're
of like
talking
better
about.
or dramatic, right? Walmart is kind of cool because again, big company
It's one of those
retail
hot
giant
buttons.
tokenizing, but then we have major PR fuck up. Which one
Major
would you
PR
want to
fuck
hear
up,
about?
Very fun to talk about.
What happened with Ledger X? That's a good question. Why did they jump the gun?
I believe that it was an issue with their press, or whoever was dealing with their press.
He actually subsequently got fired or quit.
Well,
Yeah.
I think I think
Yeah.
the official is that he resigned.
It was, or maybe it was a miscommunication because they did have certain permissions for other things, just not the futures.
Just not the future.
They were trying. Obviously,
Yes.
they were obviously
Yes.
trying to get good press and end up, shooting him in the face
Backfiring.
and backfiring.
Yeah.
And got that.
Does anybody know what happens with Ledger X next?
The CFTC is supposed to be giving them the approval. If they're working on it.
TBD.
As they were supposed to give the approval to BACT for the past freaking year. Yeah.
They move at their own pace.
Okay, folks. I think our time's up. Whitney, you lose.
Holy moly.
Moving now to Zachy, our culture reporter for Block TV, better known as Crypto Celebs Man.
That's me.
Shoot.
Okay, here's the deal.
And here starts the clock.
Gotcha. Okay, listen. McAfee's Twitter account, Mr. Jonald McAfee, he's always up to something. He's got all these escapades. He gets arrested. He gets released. He gets arrested again. Now he's living in a
That's what people were talking about.
Now he's living in a tinfoil room with this big old scrambler. Everybody's talking about it. He's releasing snippets of his manifesto. It's fucking nuts. But here's the thing. It's highly toxic. It's very, very unnecessary. And instead, I think what we should be doing is talking about and following folks like @creative_crypto on Twitter, because they're highlighting the creativity in this community.
Which
they're
is
giving
what?
you a wholesome taste. You got art, you got design, gaming, architecture, food, fashion, it's all kinds of different stuff. And it's really just, instead of wasting your time saying, oh, look, an old man slowly spiraling around the drain of demencia, we could instead be looking at some nice, pieces of art and shit. So that's what I think we should all be
And
talking
you're
about.
out. So, okay, right. Discuss.
Yes.
McAfee.
Yeah, I would say that John McAfee, you're thinking about him all wrong. He is pure art. If you take him seriously, then yes, you're obviously it's toxic. But I view him as pure entertainment. Look at these videos he's putting up. He's pure art. He is an entertainment genius. Look at him as a clown, and you'll appreciate
I will
it.
counter that. How do we make sure that people don't take him seriously?
Should people not take him seriously? He is a very, very wealthy white man controlling a lot of things. A lot of things are in his hands, and I think we should actually be taking what he's saying seriously.
So we should take
to an
Trump
extent.
seriously and like all of the.
I mean, the guy is the
wasps
president
that
of
are-
the United States. Should we be fear? Yes.
McAfee is running
Should we
for president
fear?
of the United States.
Absolutely.
And seeing
not-
as
he's not
who's sitting there now, it's a little scary.
That said, why not focus on it? State your case. Why not focus
Listen,
on art?
because he's a fucking tooty old man. Who gives a shit about him?
I'd
Let
spend
the
a week
new
with him
kids
on his
on the
boat.
block
That's all I'm
give him
saying.
I
a
don't think
chance
he would
in the
go.
four square
I
corner.
would spend
you
a
know?
week on the boat.
Give him a chance.
On the boat? No,
With
no?
security, I'd spend a week on the boat.
Okay, Zach, you failed miserably. But we are moving along now. Ron, this is your chance to shine. Take it.
I will do my best. So
Starting
basically-
with what we were talking about and what we should have. What were we talking about?
So
60 seconds
everybody
ago.
is currently talking about XRP and partnership with MoneyGram. I get it. It's a big deal. It's cool. But again, XRP are the crypto partner masters. So
Right.
it's really not funky anymore to see them in a partnership. What we should be talking about is Zcash. Why? The privacy coin is kind of attracting major buzz after Zuko Wilcox, the founder, posted a Medium blog asking the community to help renew the developer fund. Now, the coin was created with no ICO. A bunch of investors got together and was like, we believe in this, it's a privacy coin, here you go, $3 million, fund this thing. So they are doing important work for privacy coins in general. It's one of the top privacy coins, and you can kind of you can feel free to disagree with that, but that's kind of it. So if you do disagree with that, we do have a little clip, which is kind of, I think, Wilcox's elevator pitch, let's call it. Let's take a look.
Privacy is, in my mind, it's a human right. It's necessary to be human. You can't be yourself when you're under the eye of others, especially powerful others. You can't make moral choices. You can't have human intimacy. You can't really think your own thoughts. We are currently, as a human race, performing a very radical and very dangerous experiment of eliminating privacy wholesale from entire societies, entire nations, entire populations. We shouldn't gamble our nation and our communities and our families on that dangerous experiment. Privacy is, in my
And let's discuss. Okay, first of all talking about XRP. Zcash is the thing because privacy is important. Who thinks? Who can argue this?
Who hates privacy?
I'm not even going to touch on the privacy. See, the news that they're trying to make is that they are trying to re-up their development fund. But the development fund, up until now, they had the money. There's been no accountability. It's supposed to be decentralized. Where's that money going? What have they done with it so
Right, so
far?
up until now, it went into this founder's fee, right? This founder's reward, but that no longer, after the next halving, won't exist anymore. So really, what are we kind of trying to take away here? That fee is going away. You can put money into development.
Great. So they got the pocket. They raised $3 million to develop. They put it in their pocket. Now they're saying they want more.
No, they didn't. They developed
Finder's
something. There's an
fee.
entire foundation.
Ooh.
Most of those investors actually ended putting their money in, half of their profits from that, back into the Zcash Foundation.
Pump and dump.
Not a pump and dump. They're actually going down because of the news of the lack of
That's the
development.
dump.
No,
Exactly
it is
what I
not
said.
the dump. You heard him. It was heartfelt. He wants development.
seemed like a
believes in
very nice
privacy.
man.
It's
I'll
a
give you
basic
that.
right.
He was staring longly into the cameras in slow motion.
And take it.
Yeah, of course.
Basically, get a room. Okay.
Yeah.
Yona, this is your chance to try. Actually, there's no one to beat because everybody's really losing here. Yes, Yona. What should we have been discussing?
Right.
And what did we discuss?
As my prowl on the crime beat, I recently discovered that the MIT AI labs, in conjunction with IBM and Watson, they analyzed over 200,000 Bitcoin transactions and only found 2% were considered illicit. Now that's what everyone's talking about. That's the headline that everyone's jumping on. But what people really should be focusing on is in that same report that no one's talking about is that only 77% of those 200,000 remain unclassified. So when they give you that 2%, they're only talking about the other 33%, that 2%. So I'm not saying that Bitcoin is the money of choice for criminals. And clearly that's cash. Over trillions of dollars get money laundered and used for criminal activity every year with cash. But I am saying that it goes to show you that the best technology we have today, Watson, IBM, MIT, these are powerhouses when they're not playing Jeopardy. These are powerhouses, and it shows you that even with AML and KYC regulations, we still, up to 77%, we still don't know what's going on in the Bitcoin sphere.
Okay. Yeah. Shoo him down. No. Okay. First of all, wondering really out loud, why do we think Bitcoin's still headlined as the so-called go-to for criminals?
Well, it is the easiest way to go if you want to shut it down. But like in terms of this report, what are their metrics? What are they looking at? Where's this
What are their
33%?
Clearly not very good if they're
illicit?
only identifying 77% of it. They're clearly
That
Yeah, they
other
could have taken 2 separate
77%.
cases, been like, here you go, 30 or 3, and like, here you go, 33%.
For all we know, that other 77% is people like my mom, who is a very happy crypto trader. Not really, I made that up. It's definitely criminal activity.
Criminal activity, but then again, when it comes to that's the argument also to use, when it comes to cash, far more, no? How much is used?
a lot in trillions. Trillions are used for criminal activity
No,
with
it's
cash.
true.
And I think it's important to note, and whether you're pro or against this, it shows you that crypto and Bitcoin is still relatively anonymous, even with AML and KYC. 77%, we don't know what's going on with it. And it shows you, listen, it depends on your view of what the government should know on your spending habits. Personally, I think it's a private thing, but it's a positive negative.
Okay. Thank you, Yona. I win this round. We're going to move to the second round right now. As I mentioned, there are prizes at the end of this agenda. This is the agenda, as we said, round 2. Whitney, regulations reporter, what else was everybody talking about? What should they have been discussing?
Everybody's been talking about the recent testimonies on the Hill between David Marcus with Libra and Jeremy Allaire from Circle, and regulations and what the
Libra
U.S.
versus other cryptocurrencies,
Right, and what the
et
U.S.
cetera.
is going to do as far as like adopting and regulating it. Now, what we should have been talking about is how France has, they're making moves in the crypto sphere with adding new crypto regulations. And they want the other countries in the EU to follow suit.
Except for Britain. Okay.
Right. Well, I mean, well,
Yeah, okay. What are those regulations? That's remarkable.
So the new legal framework includes both optional and mandatory licensing, and also specifies the types of funds that you can invest in crypto assets. It's remarkable because the EU is making leaps and bounds over the US. The US is seen as the superpower, and now they're falling behind in this race.
Which is exactly. Wow. Okay, let's discuss this. Why do we think this is happening?
Well, I mean, shoot, because the EU, generally speaking, I don't like to vacation there because I think it's kind of boring, but they know what they're doing in regards to progressive, using their freaking brains, looking into the future, seeing, this is a hot button topic. We want to be on the right side of this and make sure that we're ahead of it in the right way and not just trying to stifle it down. So I think that they're making a great step. And maybe we'll see other European countries following suit.
How could this have been condensed together, though? Think about it, because if Libra and Circle keep arguing that the world is moving faster than the United States, why didn't they use this as an argument?
Well, this is really, really fairly new. I believe, right? This came out within, I think, the last 24 hours or so. But the U.S. is, and if we learned anything from that Senate, was that we're clearly lacking in kind of how to define things and how to do it. And I think
there's a
that's
lack
kind
of
of the point.
understanding.
But also,
It's
that's kind of
fear.
the point they were making there, is that it's not, these countries aren't necessarily creating different regulation, but rather, and that professor that was,
And once again, I win. Okay, Zaki, what else was everyone talking about? And what should we have been discussing? There are prizes at the end of this.
lies.
Now,
Well,
okay,
let's just
right,
get
yeah.
the score. So far, you have 2 points. I have 3 points. So I feel okay. Anyways,
shoot.
the NBA has partnered with the Crypto Kitties Fellows in order to tokenize the sport of basketball. This is fucking stupid. It's completely unnecessary. You're just gamifying a game even more than it already is gamified. We're caught in the throes of late-stage capitalism. It's as if the billion-dollar industry of basketball isn't making enough money, so they're trying to, grasp at straws here. What we should be focusing on,
Please.
is a better application of blockchain technology, which is to aid in environmental things. Like sustainability. You got the SSP. I just talked about it today in another bit. You got the IBM Food Trust, which is working on, making sure that all of this information is on the blockchain, so we have accountability, sustainability.
So if there's a mad cow, we know what patient zero was. Go
Exactly,
ahead.
and we know which bit of ground beef to buy and to not buy, and you can see it from start to finish. And NBA, more like NBA, who cares?
Okay. Who wants to shoot him down?
I agree with him.
Zaki.
I have to say, no, I do
What is
agree
the
with
first
him.
thing that we all want to see when it comes to the crypto sphere? What are people talking about constantly for the past 2 years? What gets us there? Mass
adoption.
mass
I mean, listen,
adoption.
Gambling platforms.
No, listen,
Mass
yeah, the
adoption.
enterprises like IBM and Walmart, they're already tracking, the supply chain with the blockchain. It's a great use case, and they're going to do that. But the regular consumer isn't going to be using that. The regular consumer is going to get onto blockchain and get into crypto and understand this technology through, stupid use cases like you say, like NBA, because that's how you get the retailer.
That's not true, because as soon as you get a fancy app, if I show my mom a fancy app that says, scan this piece of meat and it'll tell you, hey, this one came from a farm in the middle of nowhere where they're, growing them up in a dark pit and then, thumping them over the head with a baseball bat, versus this one where they have like a nice and happy lifestyle at an animal farm and then they're killed painlessly.
Oh,
Someone's
that's
just going to buy that one instead.
Like
But
what
then
happened
there's
with
the
the
kid
Coca-Cola
who wants
farm with
the token for.
That must have been the same farm.
Time up. Or arguing, okay, the NBA token, putting your mom aside, would sell much more. I hate to tell you guys,
Yeah, Zaki.
Yona has a slight lead.
What are you talking about?
But now there are no rules and
Based on
regulations here.
what?
Now, moving to
Yes.
Iran, please. Second round, what everyone was talking about, what they should have been talking about.
So everybody's kind of on this Brexit high because, we have to be talking about it and how that kind of affects crypto, and will it not? We don't know. Let's find out. But what we should actually be talking about is that a Brazilian nonprofit called Alina Institute has launched its Alina tag, and you were talking about, Zaki, a moment ago, supply chain solutions, right? So this is to inform customers of labor conditions. The company's major goal here is kind of especially concerning forced labor in Brazil's fashion industry in general. So just kind of to put it in perspective, over 81,000 workers in Brazil were rescued from forced labor in 2018 alone. So why is this a supply chain solution? Basically what they're proposing is to put this tag very early on in the process so everybody can track everything. And assuming things like this become a mandate, they become mandatory, everybody has to kind of do this, that is how you can kind of squash
Trafficking.
mandatory labor and trafficking and all those things and use cases and ideologies we want blockchain to solve.
Okay. Nice.
Right.
Right on the clock.
Got a
Iran
button on it.
Spencer. Okay, let's discuss this. Brexit versus what blockchain can do. Is Brexit affecting? Pardon me. Is it affecting the cryptocurrency world?
Currently, not necessarily, no.
Although with the
it's
pound
a
going
bunch of
down, you have to imagine that
speculation.
at least some people are onboarding into the crypto world.
That's exactly what we've been wondering, because the pound has been dropping, right?
But
for the past
speculation, or hey, look, these are people who are doing something for real.
Yeah, but tracking these things on the blockchain allows you that whenever you put something in, no one could change it or fudge it. But it doesn't guarantee the credibility of that first putting in. How is this going to stop the actual
that's the issue in
warehouses?
general, right? We're
They're
in
just
an
not gonna-
industry. We're in an industry that we're saying we're cutting out the middleman, but essentially, where everybody's coming up with platforms where you just have to really trust the middleman now because it's going to be there forever. That's kind of, you could say that with everything. But assuming everybody on this kind of chain decides, hey, we're going to go with this, we're going to go with it all the way, and we're going to make sure these things change, it could potentially work if there is a whistleblower, right? Because this whole thing relies on whistleblowers.
This whole thing relies on people.
Right.
Why focus on fascism when you could focus on fashion?
Zaki's on the lead right now.
Yeah! He's back, baby!
Because
Moving
he gave
to
a
Yana. Yana, take it away forward. Everyone's talking about a second round and what should they have been discussing.
So right now, the big headline, at least today, was that Apple's new credit card, Apple Card, will not be allowing the purchase of cryptocurrencies. This is seemingly big news, but what we should be talking about is the fact that we don't want big tech, we don't need big tech in the blockchain and crypto sphere.
Preach, sister.
There we go. If big tech doesn't want to play by our rules, which is that we don't want rules, then who needs them? Libra's only been bringing bad press for other cryptocurrencies, even though I would say it's not even a cryptocurrency. Stay out of it, Facebook. You're ruining a good thing. Next up, the whole promise of crypto is that it is decentralized. And at the end of the day, decentralized systems will win out. There are smaller companies like Nexo, which is developing and offering a crypto credit card that is actually decentralized and actually based off a crypto credit line. There are a bunch of other small businesses developing alternative payment systems for spending and receiving crypto in the real world. They're popping up every day. Bye-bye haters. We don't want Apple. We don't want Facebook. The cryptosphere will win out.
Can we do this without Apple or Facebook?
I mean, we can. Can everybody,
Can the
join
sphere,
in?
Zaki, rise to the occasion? Can this
Here's
be
what I
done
think.
without
I
these
think
big
that
tech companies?
I think that currently we are doing it without these big tech companies. I think that these big tech companies would be a potential boon, but at the point where we let them get their foot in the door, we're already allowing them to shove in an elbow and then their big old
Mass
burly barrel
adoption,
chest.
once again,
Failing.
folks, how do we get to
Excuse
mass
me, but we're
adoption
failing.
without Walmart, without Facebook, without the NBA?
How did Facebook get mass adoption? They built a good product and it grew organically. Bitcoin is a
No,
great
there
product.
were social
There-
media
there were a lot
outlets before Facebook, and they were just really good. So you could say the same about cryptocurrency, right? They existed before, but maybe now they'll be really good, and then
Or
it'll
really
be
shit.
adopted, and that'll be the tipping point.
You're trusting Facebook to
No,
take
I'm not saying that I'm
crypto
trusting
to
them. I'm just saying that they're
Then I
potentially
was
very
just looking
necessary.
back at that, but how can you get to mass adoption without these big monsters?
But then again, who gets the
can't.
power? You know what
At
I
the
mean?
point where you
there's
let 'em in,
They're going to fix the user experience issue in the sphere.
Okay, that was the agenda with phenomenal topics. The women on this panel win it because they came with computers,
Dang.
and the men came with paper, and it is
And
after all
stole mine.
2019.
It's mine.
2019. That was the agenda with our team of reporters, correspondents. Sunday agenda. We'll be right back.
For more news and updates, follow us on Twitter.